Hi everyone, it's Goddess Enchantments here, and today I'm going to do a video on carved gemstones, how to use them and what the differences are, because I get a lot of questions like, do I need a generator? How do I use a generator? What is the purpose of a flame? Is it just a decorative piece that I put on my fireplace, or does it actually have a use on my altar, in my ritual, in my crystal healing? So today we're going to look at generators, flames, spheres and palm stones. Now when I say palm stones, I don't mean worry stones, the flat palm stones with the thumb point, the ones that you're meant to sit and rub on. They're usually reasonably thin, you can put them in your bag, in your pocket, that sort of thing. We're talking about the chunky, actual palm size polished pieces. That's a palm stone as opposed to a worry stone, for example. So first thing I'm going to talk about is generators. So a generator has a flat bottom and 6 sides, as you can see. Then those polished six sides come up and then they go into a 6-sided point at the top of your generator. You can see 2 examples here, a rose quartz and an amethyst. This one is slightly straighter cut, whereas this one is thinner towards the top. You can see them cut both ways. Generally, they all have 6-sided points. Some people will ask, can I use a piece that has 5 sides? Will it work the same? Does the amount of sides matter? Go with your intuition, and if for you, you're out and you find what looks like it will function as a generator, it has the flat bottom, has the point at the top, it just doesn't have the right amount of sides, but it's speaking to you, it calls to you, and you're like, this is going to be perfect for the working I have planned, then I say absolutely go with it. There are purists in crystal therapy. I mean, when I trained, it was very much, they must look like this basically, but I have met other crystal therapy practitioners that, you know, it could have three sides to the point. As long as there is a point and a flat base, then they will use it. So you want to use your intuition here, but traditionally this is what a generator will look like. If you go out shopping for a generator, this is what you will come across in the crystal shops. This is what will come up in your searches if you search online for a gemstone generator. Now, how do you know quality when buying a generator? Important things when buying your generator is your point. Your point must not be damaged. You do not want chips. You do not want cracks, stuff like that. You want nice smooth lines. Your point must be intact. That is the most important part of shopping for a generator, is intact point. Other than that, it's really how you feel about the crystal and how much you're willing to pay. Now, a mark of quality that I look for, because it just to me says the person carving it took extra time that they didn't need to do because they weren't going to get anything out of it, is for a slightly extra bevel on the base. Let's show you on this one because the rose quartz doesn't show it. But you can see here we've got the flat base and then there's this extra little bevel up the side. See that? Ah, there you go. That's a really good shot there. That is an extra step they don't need to take, but it just finishes off the generator beautifully and makes it stand perfectly. And it's just a mark of quality in my mind, that you have got a piece that someone's taken real time over to carve. It's because I'm holding the amethyst, I'm feeling calm. So, how do we use them? We use them in gridding predominantly. So if you don't know what gridding is, I will do a video on gridding, so I'm not going to go into the details here. But basically, your generator will go in the middle of your grid. You will grid out with crystals, more than this. These are just ones actually from my reading table. And you will grid out the 4 directions and then the cross quarters. Or you may have a geometric, like the flower of life, or another geometric shape that you are gridding on, because you can buy gridding mats, gridding plates, you can print them out from the internet and colour them in and grid on that. So either way, you will grid your crystals out from your generator. Now, how a generator works is it pulls energy from the base up through the generator to the point, out the point, up and back round. So the reason we use them in our grids is almost as if they are a generator power source to our grid. So you've cleansed, charged and programmed your crystals. You have set up your grid. You have connected your crystals to your grid. Again, I will do a video on this. I'll try and film it at some point today so they go up around the same time. Connect your crystals to your grid and then to your generator, words. And then what it will do is your generator takes the energy from the grid you've created, pulls it down, brings it up through the generator where it is amplified, has additional energy added from the properties of your stone you've chosen, the intentions you've set, comes out through the top and goes back around just like a vortex or an energy center. So that's why when you set up a grid correctly, you should be able to go up to it after, put your hands over the grid and be able to feel the energy from the grid. And it's like a bubble above your grid. And that means your grid is set up correctly, working correctly, your generator's doing its job, and that energy is coming from the base up and round, from the base up and round, from the base up and round. And that is how you use your generator. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, well, you know, what if I want to do multiple grids over the next year? Do I have to buy multiple generators? Now, of course, it's lovely to have a mix of generators if that's something you can afford, but not everyone can, and I don't think, you know, you should be excluded from something because you can't. The easy thing to do is just get a clear quartz generator. Clear quartz can be programmed for any purpose. It is also a general amplifier, so it will amplify all the stones around it. You can program it for anything. So if you're doing a grid for insomnia, better sleep and relaxation, it's in your bedroom, you can charge and program your generator to do that. If you then the next month think, I'm going to take that grid down and I want to use this generator in a prosperity grid, you program your clear quartz for your prosperity grid. And it is the all-purpose stone. So you don't have to have 10 different generators unless obviously you want to set up 10 different grids. So the next thing that you can use generators for is a generator garden. Now we're starting to see these actually in home magazines, because even people that have no interest in the metaphysical properties of crystals, generator gardens are very pretty. Now, basically all it means is a collection of generators that have each been programmed for something individually. So we might program our amethyst for relieving anxiety, and we might program our rose quartz for loving energy in our home, and then we might have a tiger's eye for bringing strength, and we might have a venturine for bringing prosperity, and then we put them all together in the same place, and basically you've got loads of little energy vortexes just going in your home, constantly working towards that intention you've set, constantly putting out that energy that you have set in your home. You can of course make them really fancy. Some people get the glass little garden things, what are they called? They're like mini greenhouses, and put all moss in the bottom, and then they sit like 6 or 7 generators in there and they make a focal piece out of it for their home. And you can still do that and make it look pretty, but still have yours programmed and actually doing the work at the same time. Or you can just sit them on an altar or a shelf. I think crystals look gorgeous, however, dressed up or by themselves. So that's your main 2 ways that we're going to talk about today of using generators. The next thing, and the one that I feel brings the most confusion, is the Gemstone Flame. Now, yes, it is pretty. It has a flat base, and then it is carved around in the shape of a flame. You can get it in most stones that are available. Again, if you want an all-purpose flame, I really recommend going for a clear quartz flame because you can program it for anything. If you want to get a collection of them, you can get them in so many different stones, sizes, all sorts. When we're at the Holistic Fair on Friday, we got a very large polychrome jasper one. I have a clear quartz, so you can get a few if you enjoy working with the flame. Now obviously the flame energy is going to be the way it's carved. So our energy coming from the flame is coming from the base and is swirling around our piece and coming out in a swirl. So you can, yes, just cleanse, charge, program this and sit it in your space just like you would a generator garden. You could have a flame garden and that energy is just swirling around doing its thing. But if you want to really work with your flame, then you want to get hands on with it because they are great for that. So you put your flame flat bottom against your body. Now, if you're doing heart healing for yourself, if you are going through grief, if you're just working on the heart chakra, emotions from childhood, then you want to hold your flame there. Any of the other chakras, any work pertaining to them, you want to hold your flame against the body in that place. And then what you can do is send the energy out. So for example, say we are working on healing from grief. We will hold our flame against us. You can hold it on the heart. If you just feel called to just hold it on your tummy, which is what I like to do for almost any purpose, then you can do that as well and it works just as great. Hold it against the body so it's in contact with you. Then you want to see the energy from your flame coming out from the flame, swirling around you, right around the back of you, around the front, coming back and going back into the flame, swirling back around and into you. Now, while it's doing that, obviously you want to program that energy so that it's focused and you're using the purpose of the crystal. So if it's for grief, you program it to encompass you in soothing energy to help you heal from your grief. And it's like working with a flame is like having someone put their arms around you, or if you work with angel energy, angel wings going around you. If you work with goddess energy, Isis wings going around you, that sort of feeling to it. It's a gentle yet powerful energy that's very soothing regardless of the stone or purpose you are using it for. Now another thing you can do is pop your flame against you and send energy out to a family member or loved one. So if you know your child is not too well today, but they've gone to school because they're not ill enough to be home, but they're not feeling great, you could pick up, say, your bloodstone flame, your green moss agate flame, and just send them. You want to send out the energy stream, see it going out to your child, ask that it surrounds them in healing energy for their highest good and with love and light. See that energy surrounding them, coming back and back into the flame. Then you're sending both the flame energy, a little bit of your own healing and love. You can put that in there as well. If you do Reiki, you can incorporate Reiki into being sent with the flame energy too. Now you can really expand on this. If you want to work on healing our Mother Earth, you could have a green moss agate flame and send that energy out to heal the earth, to encompass the earth, see it encompassing her and coming back. If, for example, a tragedy's happened, I mean, lots been going on in the States at the moment with insane weather, shooting, all sorts going on over there. Maybe you want to pick up your flame and send them some loving energy, and you can just say, as you're sending that energy out, seeing it go over there, encompassing them all, coming back into the flame, you can ask that anyone who needs some extra love, some extra healing energy, or some support, depending on what you're working with, that you know it's for their, if it's for their highest good, that they receive that energy with love and light, and you can send so much energy out with the flame. That is a flame's main purpose, is to send energy. Now you're not necessarily sending your energy, so because you don't want to get drained, but you are almost using yourself just to send the energy from the crystal. And like I say, if you do Reiki, if it's to your child or something, then you send some of your own energy with that as well. But that is the main way you can use a flame, short of standing it there and having it as another energy center in your home. So that's flames. Next, spheres. Now, I love, 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 love spheres. I think spheres are excellent for the home. If you want crystals for your home, then spheres are the best, because once they are in situ, you just leave them there. And unlike many of these other items where your generator is taking up from the bottom and down, your flame is swirling up and out, your sphere is sending energy in absolutely every direction. And you've got to remember, energy is not hindered by walls or physical things. So you can program a large sphere to send energy out in all directions to your entire home. So think how wonderful that is. If you've got a large black tourmaline sphere, you have that energy going out, protecting all through your home. A selenite sphere. Low vibrations don't survive around selenite. It is a high vibration stone. I always akin it to sort of the energy of a singing bowl. It's a very pure light vibration. Again, you can have that energy running all through your home. So you can program it to do that, because remember, we're cleansing, we're charging, and we're programming all our crystals. And I do have a video on that if you don't know how to do it. So you can do that. The other thing you can do with spheres is actually focus that energy on a particular altar. So if you have a prosperity altar, you can actually program your sphere for obviously your prosperity intention, whatever that may be, a business or a job, or, you know, increase funds, managing money, whatever that may be, and program it to encompass your altar. So you can kind of scale it down a bit so that it focuses that energy coming out, or you can have it go all through your home. It's completely up to you. With spheres as well, they are extremely versatile and tactile. So if you have come home from work, you are not feeling well, you can grab a sphere and you can sit with that sphere. It's easy to sit on the sofa holding a sphere, receiving crystal therapy while you're watching the TV, while you're dozing off because you're not feeling well. It's a real easy tool to work with. There's no sharp points. You can take them to bed with you because this isn't going to hurt you. I would not recommend taking a wand to bed or something with a sharp point like a generator, for example. But small spheres, you could go to bed holding it, and you know, the most it's going to do is roll off, but you're not going to lay on it and harm yourself. So spheres are very versatile like that. They're great for working with children, because if you have a young child that you don't want to put, for example, tumble stones anywhere near, because they're at that stage where they could put it in their mouth, and obviously we don't want that, you can actually put your sphere on a stand, on a shelf, way out of their reach in their bedroom, and it is sending that energy that you have focused with your intention through the entire room, but staying at a safe distance from your child. Same with pets. These are very safe to have around pets because you can put it on a shelf near where your dog or your cat goes to sleep, and they're not going to be able to interfere with it, but they're still getting that energy without actually having direct contact. So there's so many uses for spheres. I'm slightly obsessed. I love spheres. I could honestly just do like an hour video talking about spheres. But that's some of the uses of spheres, and there are just many more because they are literally putting out energy in every direction. They are tactile unless you've got whopper ones. I do have a humongous selenite sphere, but the majority of mine are very modest size, and that makes them very workable and easy to use. So that's spheres. The next is a palm stone. Now, like I say, you could use this as a worry stone because you could certainly sit there rubbing on it, but it is not the traditional type of worry stone with a thumb hole, or that is completely flat with sort of a smooth edge around the outside. These are large, pretty much just large tumble stones that have been smoothed. So this is labradorite, perfect for setting your intentions on the new moon. But while we can work with them just like we would a tumble stone, we can hold them. They're very tactile. You can put them in your handbag. You can put them in your car to protect your car. You can put them around your house, programmed for whatever purpose you want. They also have another use, and that is that they are great for using in your auric field as a tool. So, for example, I could take, say I've had a really bad day, I've had to deal with people that have not been very pleasant, a lot of negativity. I could come home, I could grab a smoky quartz one, and I could literally just comb through my aura all over my body, sweeping away all of that energy from the day that I don't want, and don't want it, you know, coming into my house. The other way you can use them is to actually sweep energy in to you. So if you have come home and, like I say, you've swept away with your smoky quartz, cleared off all that gunk that you don't want in your auric field, you don't want attached to you, you want to do head to toe with it, then you might take a lepidolite one. And you are going to take your lepidolite palm stone and bring in all of that beautiful stress relieving, anxiety relieving energy, and just bring it in all over your body and give yourself a good sweep in with the energy. So you can bring energy in from your stone, energy out from your stone. And it's just a great way to use them. You know, you can get selenite ones. They are fabulous and completely clean your aura. So, after I turned that phone off, palm stones are really versatile in that way. So it's a real good tool to have. They're generally reasonably affordable as well. I mean, obviously, some stones are going to be more expensive than others. Labradorite is going to be more expensive than rose quartz. But there's something you can build up a collection of over time. And you can just sit and hold them as well. But it is sort of an extra tool. And if you are an energy worker or a healer, you give crystal treatments, this could definitely be something that you add into your practice and is often overlooked, actually. But is just a wonderful way to clear energy, clear the auric field, and also bring in energy that you are looking to attract or work with. So that's your palm stone. So this is some of the main shapes you can work with. I really think it is worth investing in some of these pieces. Obviously, they take time. I mean, I've been collecting gemstones for years, literally years. And there's still now only some pieces that I'm just acquiring. I only managed to get my hand on some sugilite this year, for example, which is so expensive and very rare. There's a lot of fake stuff on the market, particularly here in the UK. A lot of it is dyed jasper, but it is an amazing stone, and I have 2 tumbled pieces of that. So it's not even anything big. I mean, a sphere smaller than this in sugilite, so a very small sphere, like this size sphere, will cost you about £150 in sugilite if you can find it. That is how rare it is. So these are tools that you want to collect over time. You don't want to go out tomorrow and buy 5 spheres and 5 generators. And I mean, it's wonderful if you have the money to do that. But I also think even if you have the money to do that, it kind of takes away from the experience, because I remember where I got these pieces. I know where they're from. they might have been while I was on holiday, they might have been while I was on a day out with friends, and there's a memory associated to them. And I think that only makes your healing practice and your work with your crystals more powerful. Whereas if you bulk buy, you kind of don't have that. You just have, oh, I went out today and bought 5 generators. Whereas you get to take time and pick. You might decide, oh, I want a rose quartz generator, but go down to a shop and they may have 10 of them, but none of them really speak to you. And if they don't speak to you and you're not getting that feeling, you want to handle all of these tools before you buy them, because these are tools. And they're investments, you know, they're not super cheap pieces. You're investing your money. You want to use it as a working tool for healing or for ritual, whatever it may be. So you want to really take time. If you have picked up all 10 of those generators and not had the type of feeling from any of them that, no, that's the one, I have to have that, I can't put that back, I've got, I don't know, a warm feeling in your hand, maybe your hand vibrates, everyone gets like a different feeling when they're picking crystals. If you haven't had that, don't just buy the rose quartz generator because you wanted to go home and set up your love grid. It's important to treat them as energetic tools, energetic beings, because the right one will work for you so much better than anyone. So you want to really pick your tool and not get too carried away. We have all been there. When I was at the holistic show on Friday, I could have come home with bags and bags of gemstones. It's really easy to get swept up in it and be like, right, I have that sphere and I want that generator, and you know, you save up money to go to these things and it's very tempting to spend it all, but it really does take away something from the experience if you just buy tons at once and you're not really, you know, tuning in and, you know, having an energetic experience with that piece. So that's something to really look out for when picking your tools in particular. Tools that want to work with you, tools that, you know, your energy is a match with. So yeah, so that is different shaped crystals. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Many blessings, and I will speak to you all soon.